I thank the gentlelady from New York for handling this very important bill. And I want to thank Mr. Costa and Mr. Poe for sponsoring this legislation. You know, when we talk about violence in the family, domestic violence, we quote a lot of statistics, and my colleagues have done that very, very well. But one of the things that's very hard for people to understand is what it's like to actually go through domestic violence. And it's so important that everybody in America be involved in stopping domestic violence. There's so many people that hear some woman scream or see some child being beaten by their father, and they don't do anything about it. They say, it's not my business. And so they go on their merry way, and they feel like this problem's going to go away. It doesn't go away. It gets worse and worse and worse until sometimes people get killed or maimed for life. My father was 6'8", and my mother was 5.5 feet tall. And he used to beat her so badly that you couldn't recognize her. He would tear her clothes off of her in front of me and my brother and sister, and then if we said anything, he'd beat me. He went to prison for trying to kill her. And one of the reasons it went that far, in my opinion, is because there wasn't enough attention paid to what he was doing in the first place. I can remember one night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, my mother, who had been beaten up, took me and my brother and sister down to the police station in Indianapolis. And she went to the desk sergeant and said to him, you know, she wanted to get a restraining order, get away from this brute and this brutality. And the desk officer said, you know what time it is, lady? It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and these kids ought to be in bed. If you don't take these kids home right now, I'm going to arrest you for child abuse. That was the attitude that we saw back in those days. I can remember when she would throw a lamp through the front window when he was beating on her or me and scream for help so loud that you could hear it blocks away, and nobody came. Nobody's light went on. Nobody paid any attention. And that's the crime. The crime isn't just the wife abuse or child abuse or spousal abuse. The crime is that people don't take it upon themselves to stop it. Now, today it's a lot better in police departments across this country. There's a lot of organizations that are trying to help women and kids who are abused. And that's great. It's a great step in the right direction. But as these statistics that we've heard today will tell you, it goes on and on and on. And the only way it's going to stop, if collectively across this country, men and women who see violence in public or in private or hear about it, report it to the police, report it to the proper people, and get that brute away from that man and that woman and those kids. If we don't do that, this is never going to stop. The brute has to be afraid of what's going to happen to him. I'll just tell you how this story ends. My mother finally got away from him. He went to prison for 2 to 14 years. And when he got out, he still tried to bother us. But it wasn't until he realized that he was going to go back to jail if he did it again that he stopped. The fear of the law, the fear of prosecution, the fear of retaliation for what they're doing is the one thing that brutes and wife and child abusers understand. And so I'd like to say to my colleagues, this is very important legislation. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that we sponsored this every year, and we need to make sure there's awareness of this. But I'd like to say, if anybody across the country is paying attention, it's your responsibility, every single American. If you see wife or child abuse or abuse of any type like this, report it to the police. Tell your friends and neighbors to watch for it. That's the only way it's going to stop. And it's everybody's responsibility. I yield back the balance of my time.